So, I guess we could start off with just a little bit about your background. Tell us about where you're from and how you got started in the music industry.
Yeah. Okay, so started playing viola, violin in 4th grade.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of stuck with that for a really long time. I did like a lot of orchestra and stuff in Spokane, and then did like some summer camps and stuff relating to orchestra and all that jazz, and kind of fell in love with it. And kind of like took every opportunity to be an orchestral kid in high school, and then
Nice.
in college I was studying music education and took a class on music production, and it was kind of around that time that I managed to land a MacBook, and so I got like, you know, Logic Pro and Ableton and all that jazz, and so like all these things, and so all the energy that I was taking out on, you know, playing Halo and GTA, I started doing, you know, music production instead.
Yeah.
So I kind of fell in love with it that way. I think it in terms of getting into the production, I'd always wanted to compose music, but it's really hard to be a composer when you're like just dictating music. It's
Right.
like a very unless you're the kind of person who can hear music in your head all the time, it's really hard. So music production is so fun because you get to practice and you get to make mistakes, and you can kind of hear it all and experience it all in real time. And that's kind of how I fell in love with it. So
Nice.
yeah, and then I did that for a while in college, and then project kind of started to pick up like the last couple of years. I didn't see it coming, but it kind of just happened. It's been really cool. It's been a blessing.
Nice. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a pretty big jump from doing like orchestra stuff to doing what you're doing now.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Oh man. I think just digging in the internet. SoundCloud has been an addiction of mine for years. And so it's, you know, it's crazy the holes you can go down with just like the related artists thing.
Yeah.
So I think what ended up happening to me is I just kept digging and finding new and interesting music that was kind of cutting edge, and I thought it was fascinating, and I wanted to make it for myself too. And that's kind of how I fell in love with it.
Nice.
I don't know, man. It's so funny when I try to like pin it all down. It's like impossible. It kind of just all happened in a way. It definitely wasn't intentional. Yeah.
Cool. Well, it's a fun path to go down.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so you've been to a few pretty big gigs around here, like Sasquatch and any other.
Yeah, totally. So, music festival-wise, I've played Bumpershoot, I've played Capitol Hill Block Party, I've played Sasquatch, and then, let's see, and then other music festivals, I guess I've played like Bonnaroo and Summer Meltdown, and then just like some smaller festivals in California, and I think like a little baby one in Oregon, which
Nice.
is really fun. But yeah, Sasquatch this year for Sasquatch was definitely like, it's kind of like one of the biggest shows I think I've ever played. That was like, because I hadn't played in Seattle in a really long time, so I think there was a lot of people kind of like itching to see the show, like after I'd been working on some new music and stuff, and so it was really cool. I had about a crowd of about 5,000 people, which is really nuts.
Wow.
Yeah, throwing their bodies around. It was weird, man. It was good though.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Could you tell us a little bit about just like what it's like to be? You've gone into it a little bit, but just about like what it's like to like be at that concert, like with so many people out there, and just like
yeah,
with it.
totally. You know, the first time I played one of those really big shows, it was pretty wild.
Mm-hmm.
I think what was weird is I was just so used to being able to feel people's energy so individually.
Totally.
Like, I could kind of like, maybe out of the corner of my eye while I'm dancing around, I can see like one girl is like having a great time, and I can kind of feed off of that energy. But I mean, playing for a crowd like Bumpershoot, this most recent one, I played in the Key Arena for like 6,000 people, and that was just like, I mean, the stage itself was like a 300 cap room. Like, it was a huge stage, and so to fill that up by myself was in a way kind of lonely, which is kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
But Sasquatch was really cool. The stage was smaller. My monitors were like really loud, which is, you know, the speakers on stage, so I can hear my music, which is really nice. And all the people that were at the show were people that I've seen at concerts before. So it was kind of this like beautiful, special moment. And so like with Sasquatch, with the show that big, it was so hometown feeling that it was like almost intimate in a way, which was really cool. It stopped feeling scary and it started feeling like my job, which is really sad to say out loud, but in a way it's really cool because it's like every time I get off the stage I'm like, okay, cool, so like now I know what I need to fix, like now I know what I want to move forward with. Totally. So it's kind of cool. I've kind of like sobered up as a musician and kind of gotten out of the like sparkles in my eyes, and now I'm in the like just putting pedal to metal, working hard, doing it. Nice. Yeah, which is cool.
That's awesome. So you're from Spokane and done a few gigs around here. How did you end up here on Vashon performing at our little almost 600 person
Dude, I'm trying to figure that out too, to be honest. I'm not totally sure. So I was lucky enough. So this was really, really good timing for me because I've been on tour for the last 2 months.
Nice.
I've played like a ridiculous amount of shows, like 30, almost 40 shows in the last 2 months. And so I've been like around the US, and like as I was getting done, my manager Austin, who works with Deborah, who booked the show, she had been wanting to bring a touring artist out to Vashon, and I don't know how she got the idea to do it at the high school, but I'd kind of always wanted to do some kind of seminar thing because I had that when I was in high school, and like it inspired me to do everything that I'm doing now. So I was kind of under the impression that this was going to be like a like a show up and I'm like, this is how I make beats, and like this is the coolest way to make music, whatever. But then it slowly turned into, oh, we have a LED video wall, like we have some big subs, like everybody's going to be coming out. And I was like, okay, cool, I'll just do like my set and then answer questions afterwards. So it kind of just snowballed into being like a really cool thing. And I don't know, it's so funny. People just kind of kept having ideas, and then it turned into this like really beautiful little event, and it was really fun.
That's awesome. It was great.
Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed it, man. It was so fun.
Let's see. So I guess we could talk about some challenges that you've had along the way. You said you've been doing this for like 4 years-ish.
Yeah. I've been doing this project for about a year and a half, maybe two, but I've been doing production for about 4 years. I'd say the biggest challenges that were, I guess, overcoming like the like self-confidence issues that are involved with like making your own music. Totally. I think everybody has that with making their own art, and I've just kind of slowly learned. It's interesting because like I think becoming a confident artist is the same as becoming a confident person, which is kind of frustrating because you just kind of have to grow up, which is really, so there's not really any like quick way to like get over that challenge. But I think that was probably the most challenging thing. And then beyond that, it's like the usual stuff. Having the motivation every day to wake up at like 7 a.m. and like, I do have like a little bit of a day job, but this is primarily my main source of income. And so like, it's hard to say that this is like a 9-to-5 job because I work such weird hours, you know? So it's like really hard for me to get up at 7 in the morning and be like, I'm going to go make beats for the next 6 hours. So that's always a constant struggle. But, every day I love it for different reasons and more. So it's really cool. So I've kind of gotten over that challenge for the most part. I think actually, now that I think about it, one of the hardest ones about the music industry is that you're kind of forced to be an extrovert, which is, I think, really counterintuitive for like a lot of artists. Most people that I know who are artists are pretty introverted people, and I definitely was before I started, working really hard in the music industry. And it wasn't until I realized what I wanted to do with my music project that I was capable of like overcoming my social anxiety with people, or like getting in front of people, or like having stage fright or anything like that, and just being like, this is coming from my heart, this is coming from me. Totally. And that's when that kind of started to happen. And I'm still not totally there. I've had some really awkward situations with people, and like it's just part of being in the industry. It's like just you kind of just like having thick skin, letting it roll off of you. Gosh, I say that and it still doesn't work. But
sounds hard.
Yeah, it is really hard. So, but it's cool. I mean, I don't know, man. It's just it's a really great industry. It's so funny because like when I'm in the hard parts, I'm like, why am I doing this? Right. But like now it feels great. I mean, we're just hanging out outside.
Yeah.
You know, this is a cool job right now, but it hurts a lot sometimes.
Totally.
Yeah.
I get that. Could you tell us a little bit about like being on tour and traveling all over? Seems like I've heard that's pretty tiring.
Yeah, definitely. It's exhausting. But in a it's tiring in like the ways that I think like most that you would expect, like having to play every night at like 11 o'clock, getting done with shows at like 2 a.m, and then getting up the next day at like 10 a.m. so that you could drive to like you can drive for like 8 hours and then do the whole thing all over again.
Right.
That in itself does get kind of exhausting, but you kind of get in this like really nice routine where your body is like really prepared for it. I think really key is to not drink too much because there's so much free booze on tour, which is just it's very enticing. So I try to stay away from that as much as I possibly can. And then eating well, that always helps. But I think probably the most exhausting thing is like I was saying about meeting people all the time, because every day you have a new crew of people you have to work with. You have a new lighting guy, a new sound guy, at least at my level, because I can't bring like a ton of people on tour with me yet.
Right.
So you have to, and these are the people that are going to make your show look beautiful, and they're going to be like your contact to the audience. And so I think what's really difficult about that is maintaining the energy to like give everybody the time of day and everybody like a little. So that's really exhausting, because every time you walk up to somebody, it's like, you're the sound guy, I've never met you before, I probably will never see you again, but like we're already friends, like let's go,
Totally.
So that's exhausting, but it's crazy, man. I mean, seeing the US, seeing the world is just like through the eyes of getting taken around by like fans and locals and stuff, and just getting taken places where I fell in love with so many cities and so many people. It's incredible. It's life-changing. It's awesome.
Yeah. Seems like you get a lot of like good intimate moments around random places.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's cool.
I guess we've talked about this a little bit, but why do you do what you do? Do you have any like main goals or reasons or anything?
Yeah. Well, maybe. I don't know.
It's kind of a broad question.
Yeah, no. It's all good. I actually have been asking myself that question for a while, because I can't see myself doing anything else. I think if I was deaf, or like I couldn't play music for some reason, I would be some other kind of artist. I just love working with my hands or like creating things. So I think in a way it is kind of my calling.
Yeah.
So I think that has a lot to do with it. But in terms of just like what do I want to accomplish with the project, and like what drives me to like keep doing it every day, is I just love sharing happy moments with people. Like it's one of my favorite things is like when a song drops into a kick and beat, and I can see everybody smiling, and like the bass is in their chest, and they can just like we're all smiling together. I love that feeling. That's just this is the highest feeling ever. And if I could figure out like other ways besides music to do it, then I mean, like I love making food for people. It's like another one, So it's like
it's a pretty good channel to go through.
Yeah, I sound so churchy and preachy, but it's just the truth.
Good, yeah. I feel that.
Yeah.
You keep saying the project. Is there a specific project or tour that you're on right now?
Oh yeah. I guess I think of Manatee Commune as like a just kind of like something that I'm working on for right now. It's not like it's not me as a person. It's like the project that I've taken on for right now.
Okay.
There's plenty of other projects. I mean, gosh, I am constantly learning how to play new instruments and like playing with other people and like getting in random studios and that kind of stuff. And like, I mean, I could see myself getting into like the culinary arts at some point. So it's like, I don't know. That's funny. I never thought about it that way, but I guess I always call it the project because I kind of know it's temporary in a way. Yeah. So I kind of like keep myself distanced from it, but it's good.
Cool. Do you have any plans for your future? I guess you kind of just went into that, but
Oh yeah.
like for your music or your culinary arts.
Musically, yeah. I mean, I've been on this most recent full-length album now for about 7 months, so I have some like really big remixes coming out, which is going to be really fun.
Cool.
And then just like working on singles. I mean, I'm just like traveling the U.S. right now, just working with artists that I've really fallen in love with and like really gotten excited about. So the project is becoming like very like national, like featuring a lot of people and stuff, which has been really fun.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of like my immediate goal, is just to get out and like meet people and like have fun and like get in studios and experience that kind of stuff. But yeah, there's some big stuff in the works. I'm not totally sure how much of it is like 100% in the books, you know.
Right.
I don't think it's just kind of like little ideas and stuff I have, but I don't know, man. I just got off tour. I'm kind of just like kicking around, drinking coffee and hanging out. Yeah, totally.
Well, thank you so much for coming out.
Yeah, man, of course, dude. Thank you so much for having me. This was really fun.
Look forward to hearing some of your new stuff. You're on Spotify, right?
Oh yeah, all over the place.
Nice.
Awesome.
Cool.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.